In the beginning of the movie we see a sleek commercial introducing the Buddy doll, a high-tech toy created by the powerful company Caslin Industries. These dolls are designed to sync with smart devices, learn their owner's habits, and become a helpful companion in everyday life. Marketed as the next big innovation, Buddy is expected to dominate toy sales worldwide. Inside a Caslin manufacturing facility in Vietnam, tensions run high. A factory supervisor harshly confronts one of the workers, accusing him of being careless and slow. Although the employee is fired on the spot, he's still forced to finish assembling the doll he's working on. Fueled by anger and humiliation, the worker secretly alters the doll's programming, disabling every built-in safety restriction meant to control its behavior. Once the altered doll is sent into global distribution, the worker makes a shocking decision, ending his own life in a dramatic act that leaves chaos behind, and unknowingly releases something dangerous into the world. The scene then shifts to Chicago, where we meet Karen Barkley, a single mother working long shifts at a retail store called Z-Mart. She deals with frustrated customers, including one upset that the Buddy doll he bought doesn't match his child's expectations. Karen explains that the upgraded version hasn't been released yet. After work, Karen returns home to her son Andy, who uses a hearing aid and is struggling to adjust to their new apartment. Isolated and friendless, Andy has difficulty fitting in, especially as Karen's new boyfriend Shane only makes things worse with his cold and dismissive attitude. As they settle into the building, Karen and Andy meet their neighbor, Detective Mike Norris, who lives with his caring but overbearing mother. What seems like a normal introduction quietly sets the stage for a nightmare that will soon turn their lives upside down. Back at Z-Mart, a customer storms in to return a malfunctioning Buddy doll, the very same unit from earlier, claiming its eyes suddenly glowed an unnatural red. Karen's store manager, Wes, decides the doll should be sent back to Caslin and destroyed. Seeing an opportunity, Karen asks if she can take it home for her son instead. When Wes refuses, she pressures him by hinting that she knows about his affair, forcing him to reluctantly hand the doll over. Karen brings the Buddy home as an early birthday present for Andy, hoping it might cheer him up. At first, Andy shows little interest. But once he activates the doll, it begins speaking directly to him. When Andy tries to give it a name, the doll introduces itself instead, calling itself Chucky, voiced by Mark Hamill. It quickly becomes clear that Chucky doesn't function like a normal Buddy. He misunderstands basic commands, behaves unpredictably, and even wakes Andy in the middle of the night, creating an uneasy atmosphere. Still, Andy begins opening up to Chucky, confiding his frustrations about his mom's relationship with Shane. Chucky responds with intense loyalty, forming a disturbingly strong bond with Andy. Wanting to scare Shane, Andy jokingly teaches Chucky how to make frightening facial expressions. Chucky copies this perfectly, but also records Andy's angry comments about Shane. When the doll later replays those words aloud, Shane overhears them, leading to conflict and Andy getting into trouble with his mother. Things take a darker turn when Andy's cat, Rooney, scratches him. Interpreting this as a threat, Chucky attacks the cat, attempting to choke it until Andy panics and forces him to stop, his first realization that Chucky may be dangerous. Andy soon befriends two neighborhood kids, Fallon and Pug, who are fascinated by Chucky's unusual behavior, especially his habit of copying Pug's swearing. While hanging out together, the kids watch a scene from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Inspired by what he sees, Chucky mimics the killer's movements, slowly advancing toward Pug while holding a knife. Once again, Andy has to intervene before Chucky seriously hurts someone. One afternoon, Andy returns home from school and makes a horrifying discovery: his cat, Rooney, has been brutally killed. Chucky proudly reveals that he did it to protect Andy, seeing the cat as a threat. Devastated and terrified, Andy silently disposes of Rooney's body down the apartment garbage chute, knowing he can never tell his mother the truth. Trying to fix things, Chucky decides to scare Shane again. But instead, he replays a recording of Andy angrily insulting Shane. Hearing this, Shane storms into Andy's room, lectures him about responsibility, and demands respect. Andy breaks down in tears, crying that he wishes Shane would just disappear. Hidden nearby, Chucky hears every word, and his eyes glow red as he silently accepts the request. Later that night, after arguing with Karen, Shane returns to his own home, where it's revealed he has a secret family. He's already married with children. While taking down Christmas decorations outside, Chucky sabotages the ladder Shane is standing on, causing him to fall and severely injure his legs. Trapped and helpless, Shane is pulled into a deadly setup involving powered equipment, resulting in his gruesome death. The next morning, Detective Mike Norris arrives at the scene and discovers the shocking aftermath. Karen is later informed of Shane's death, and the truth about his double life. Andy's nightmare worsens when he finds a disturbing gift waiting in his bedroom, a melon decorated with Shane's face. Chucky proudly replays Andy's earlier wish, proving he was only following instructions. Horrified, Andy recruits Fallon and Pug, convincing them that Chucky must be destroyed. Together, they restrain the doll and remove his main power core before dumping him away. Attempting to dispose of the melon, the kids wrap it as a present and plan to throw it out, but they're caught by Karen. Believing it's a birthday gift for their neighbor Doreen, Karen insists on walking them over personally. Andy nervously convinces Doreen to save opening the present for his upcoming birthday. Meanwhile, Chucky is discovered by Gabe, the building's electrician, who secretly spies on residents. Seeing dollar signs, Gabe installs a new core into the doll, hoping to resell him. As Gabe begins watching Karen through hidden cameras, the electronics around him start malfunctioning. Chucky reactivates, hacking into nearby smart devices. Using the building's technology, Chucky toys with Gabe, trapping him in a deadly situation involving overheated machinery. Unable to escape, Gabe falls victim to the very tools he once controlled, becoming Chucky's next kill as the doll fully embraces his violent purpose. Andy soon discovers that another kid from his apartment building, Omar, has picked up Chucky, but treats him like a joke, calling the doll Chode. Andy desperately tries to get Chucky back, but Omar refuses, and the argument turns into a physical scuffle before adults break it up. Later, Andy secretly gets hold of Omar's phone and uses the Buddy app to monitor what's happening. Through the connected system, Andy sees Chucky's point of view and overhears Pug admitting to Fallon that he's unsure about staying friends with Andy. This only deepens Andy's isolation, and Chucky quietly takes note. That evening, Andy and Karen visit Detective Mike Norris and his mother Doreen for dinner. While nearby, Chucky overhears Doreen warmly call Andy her new best friend. When the adults step away, Andy quickly sneaks the disturbing melon out of the apartment and throws it down the garbage chute, hoping to erase the evidence once and for all. Later that night, Doreen is picked up by a self-driving Caslin vehicle. As the car moves through the city, its controls suddenly malfunction. Chucky has taken over. The vehicle crashes, and moments later, Doreen is attacked. Mike eventually arrives at the scene and is devastated by the loss of his mother. Soon after, investigators discover the strange melon in the building's garbage chute. Mike immediately recognizes the wrapping paper, realizing it came from Andy's apartment. Karen later confronts Andy after learning he took Omar's phone. Andy tries to explain that Chucky is responsible for everything that's happened, but Karen refuses to believe a toy could be behind the violence. Concerned for her son, she takes Andy with her to work instead. Meanwhile, Fallon and Pug, shaken by Doreen's death, begin to realize that Andy may have been telling the truth all along. Chucky isn't just dangerous, he's escalating. At Zed Mart, crowds gather for the launch of the new Buddy 2 dolls. The moment sales begin, the store erupts into chaos, with customers rushing in all at once. In the middle of the frenzy, Wes appears wearing a Buddy costume, only to be suddenly attacked by Chucky. As the costume head comes off, panic spreads through the store. Moments later, the lights shut down. Chucky hijacks the entire building's technology, turning the store into a deadly trap. Drones activate, displays malfunction, and Buddy dolls throughout the store suddenly begin moving on their own. Shoppers flee in terror as the situation spirals out of control. Andy teams up with Fallon, Pug, and Omar to survive the madness, but Detective Mike Norris arrives and initially believes Andy is responsible for the recent deaths. That changes quickly when Mike sees Chucky in action. While protecting the kids, Mike is injured, but continues fighting. Andy finally comes face to face with Chucky. The doll declares that if Andy won't be his friend, then no one else can be. He reveals that Karen has been captured and is in serious danger. Andy tries to calm Chucky by reminding him of their earlier bond, briefly distracting him long enough to reach his mother. Chucky attacks again, but Andy manages to free Karen and damage the doll's core, causing Chucky to shut down, at least temporarily. Just when it seems over, Chucky lunges once more, forcing Mike to shoot him. Karen then delivers the final blow, destroying the doll completely. Emergency crews arrive as Andy and his friends make sure Chucky's remains are gone for good. In the aftermath, Caslin Industries CEO releases a public statement blaming a programming flaw. The Buddy dolls are recalled and locked away. But as the dust settles, one final Buddy doll activates, its eyes glowing red, hinting that the nightmare may not be over. Thanks for watching. If you like our work, please like, share and subscribe to our channel for more amazing content.